Following the success of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where do Star Wars games go from here? Publisher EA and developer Respawn Entertainment did an excellent job of capturing the essence of being a hunted-down Jedi in a time of great turmoil. However, for some gamers, Jedi Survivor left an unfortunate taste in people's mouths, as the game was plagued by glitches and performance issues, especially on PC. Enter Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment with Star Wars Outlaws. Much like the Star Wars Jedi series, Ubisoft is also looking to capture the look and feel of being one of the series' most iconic archetypes, the smuggler. Like the iconic Millennium Falcon, Star Wars Outlaws has some rough patches and some components that definitely need fixing. The hyperdrive computer needs readjustments, and there definitely needs to be a new radar dish, but at the core of it, both got it where it counts. Hi, my name is Jay, and welcome to Star Wars News Edit. Star Wars Outlaws is a big milestone, as it marks the first modern AAA Star Wars game made outside of EA. It is also being touted as the first truly open-world Star Wars game. And story-wise, players will take control of Kay Vess, a new character who is a smuggler and is looking to make a name for herself. As Kay rubs shoulders against criminal giants, so too will the player uncover a criminal underworld that is ripe with exploration and treachery. But it doesn't take long for Kay to start making enemies with all the wrong people. After stealing a ship named the Trailblazer, Kay soon racks up a bounty attracting many who want to collect. It's from here that she then meets Jalen, another shady smuggler who helps offer Kay a job that will pay her enough money so that she can finally live the life she's dreamed of for herself and her animal friend Nix. Similar to Solo: A Star Wars Story, Star Wars Outlaws is a low-stakes, carefree adventure that might not gel with everyone. If you go into this expecting an emotionally dramatic story with new and interesting gameplay mechanics, you'll be sorely disappointed. But if you go into this not expecting a lot, and just looking to have a good time, you'll find yourself smiling from ear to ear constantly. This makes it tough to review this game, because everyone's enjoyment of it will greatly vary. The best part about Star Wars Outlaws is how it captures the heart and essence of this world. It's obvious that Massive Entertainment is a big fan of this property and wants to let fans live out their ultimate space cowboy fantasies that can only be experienced in Star Wars games. Yet, on the gameplay side of things, from the shooting to the sneaking around, it's serviceable at best and frustrating at worst. Playing through Star Wars Outlaws as a lifelong Star Wars fan and as a game critic is both frustrating and exhilarating at the same time. Starting with the good aspects of the game, it thankfully runs very smoothly. Playing this on PlayStation 5, I didn't experience any stuttering or dropped frame rates when playing on the balanced visual fidelity mode. Enemies and environments all look beautiful and well textured, with only a few minor visual glitches here and there. This is good because Star Wars Outlaws' presentation is the best part about it. Cantinas, cities, and marketplaces are bustling with dense crowds and people going about their daily lives. Planets and vistas are all gorgeously designed, with wide open areas, as well as cramped bases and caves scattered throughout. And it feels really great to go from walking across sandy dunes to piloting your ship into outer space, going into hyperspace, and then landing on another different planet, all done seamlessly. And all of these locations have cool and interesting activities to do. You can play high-stakes sabacc games at pubs, bet on fathier races, eat street food with Nicks, or just explore new and iconic locations. Ever wanted to just walk around Tashi Station and really get a feel for what's inside? There's no free Wi-Fi there. Wouldn't recommend it. But it's all there to create an atmosphere that is intrinsically Star Wars, and that feels lovingly crafted. It also helps that the two main characters, Kay and Nix, are also extremely entertaining. Kay, portrayed by Umberly Gonzalez, has that classic nonchalant attitude, where she'll get in way over her head, and will just shrug it off and say, "I'll figure it out." And voice actress Dee Bradley Baker continues to make people go, "Wait, that's him?" as his squeaks and squeals pack a surprising amount of emotion. The loving and endearing relationship these two have serves as the emotional heart of this story, as it's cool to see the lengths that these two will go through in order to help each other out.
Pull harder. There we go. Okay, buddy.
But as this initial honeymoon phase wears off, players may start to get frustrated with the overall gameplay design and how incomplete some of it may feel. Shooting and blasting opponents with guns and explosives is fun. Guns have a nice recoil to them, excellent sound effects, and there is a good enough variety for every situation. But it's the game's stealth portions that feel underbaked. The game features a surprising amount of missions where the player must not be seen. And even when it's not required, the game incentivizes you, the player, to not go guns blazing, as doing so will mean you'll build a negative reputation with the game's crime syndicates. I'll get to the crime syndicates later, but most players will want to try and be on good terms with these organizations. So being spotted while infiltrating and stealing from their bases is not a good look. This puts a big incentive on the player to sneak around. Thing is, stealth in this game is frustrating and boring, as the AI is entirely unpredictable, and Kay doesn't have many stealth abilities that feel powerful. Much like the enemies in Ubisoft's other games, like Assassin's Creed, enemies will be completely oblivious to anything happening behind their backs or their sides. You can be 4 feet away to the side of them, punching the living daylights out of their best friend, and they won't notice you.
Hey, open that up.
But if you make any movements in front of them, they instantly have eagle eyes and can spot you 100 yards away. As a player, you have no idea what the game and its enemies will notice and what it will not. This makes it extremely annoying, as players will get spotted and punished for it without any true consistency. Star Wars Outlaws doesn't let you set traps, poison enemies, or hide incapacitated bodies. Why? Why don't the developers give Kay the option to set off bombs, shoot toxic darts to set enemies on a frenzy, or strategically place bodies so other guards can get distracted? These are all elements you can perform in other stealth games like the Batman Arkham games, or even Ubisoft's main franchise, Assassin's Creed. It's baffling to me that a major part of the game could feel so underdeveloped and without much attention. And some of the other gameplay elements feel the same way as well. Players can't bump their speeder bikes into other enemies, which really limits your defensive options. And in space, players can't mask their ship on radar or go into stealth, which means space combat is unavoidable, even if you just want to get to another planet. Even though the goal is to let the player experience the ultimate smuggler fantasy, the end result feels restrained, which is a shame because it's a bit early in a smuggler's life to be frozen in carbonite. That being said, however, there are many components outside of gameplay that are very fun. For one, character progression. Being able to learn new skills and abilities for your character is nothing new in games. But here in Star Wars Outlaws, it happens very naturally and fits with the game's story. For example, the player can have Kay learn how to hack into turrets or learn how to perform bunny hops on her speeder bike. To do this, the player as Kay must seek out experts who are willing to teach her. At first, they might be reluctant to help, but help them out and these experts will soon return the favor. And thematically speaking, it makes sense that Kay would start off as an inexperienced newbie that doesn't know about anything. But as the story progresses, it only makes sense that she'd become more skilled and get better at her job. It's a fun, thematic way to spin on something common in games. I also thought the pacing of the story felt very good, with story details and character backstories spread throughout the entire journey that kept me interested throughout. And the game's side characters are cleverly written, with the snarky commando droid ND5 being a standout favorite. Lastly, I'll touch on the game's crime syndicates because it's an element that captures well how I feel about this game. Throughout Star Wars Outlaws, Kay will interact with 4 main crime organizations and clans. There's a new clan called the Ashiga clan, created entirely for this game. But you also run into some big-name organizations and leaders like Kira, heading Crimson Dawn, and Jabba the Hutt, running the Hutt cartel. As a Star Wars fan, it is awesome to see and interact with these individuals, including the new Ashiga clan, who I think is a cool addition as they're a more quote-unquote honorable syndicate. Being able to perform missions, or sometimes even backstab them, lets you, the player, craft your own story and makes your experience unique. But dig a little deeper, and your decisions and loyalty to these clans don't have too big of an impact. Become enemies of these groups, and the worst they'll do is send out kill squads after you that couldn't even take down Greedo. Become good buddies with them, and they'll send you some cool gear to equip, but either way, your decisions with these groups don't have much of a larger, overarching impact on the narrative as a whole. Again, it's symbolic of the game, where I love seeing and interacting with these iconic people and locations and exploring these worlds, but often felt disappointed as they're just short of being exceptional. Your enjoyment of Star Wars Outlaws will primarily be dictated by how much of a diehard fan you are and how engaged you are with the story. However, if this game wasn't a Star Wars game, I probably wouldn't have played it for as long as I did. But that being said, I'll give the game some credit for how well it replicates the joy of being a reckless, devil-may-care space pirates filled with dangerous ambition. I have no doubt that, much like the Star Wars Jedi series, if and when Star Wars Outlaws gets a sequel, that game will improve upon all these elements, making it a standout hit. As of now, Star Wars fans will still get a lot of enjoyment out of this game. But as a video game critic, Star Wars Outlaws just needs a few more new ideas and design overhauls to become a more enjoyable experience. That's why I'm giving Star Wars Outlaws a rating of 6.5 out of 10. For more of my thoughts and reviews on video games, feel free to check out my YouTube channel called Good Games Dude. And for all of the latest headlines happening in a galaxy far, far away, keep it here at Star Wars Newsnet.